Hi there. In an era of COVID, many of us have been relying heavily on Zoom, Teams, and other forms of online communication as we work remotely and from home. But to what extent can these forms of communication ever replace the face-to-face interaction and human relationships that we have from being in the office? This has been one question that Petr Matous from the Faculty of Engineering has been exploring in his research, and he joined Stephanie Wood in this culture chat to share some of his insights.
Thanks for joining us, Peter. Could you please talk to us a little bit about your research and what it says about how communicating with our colleagues virtually instead of in person might affect how we connect with each other?
With every new technology in the past, there have been expectations that new communication technologies may replace face-to-face interactions. And it has never happened. In fact, it always was the opposite. The more we had of telephone communication or email communication, we've always seen also increase in people traveling to meet with each other and talk to each other face-to-face. The question is whether now, when we learn to use Zoom or Teams or other technologies, whether it will be different because we were not allowed to travel while that happened. But it's still a bit early to say. But I would assume that still we have physical bodies and we like to meet with people face to face, so that will not be completely replaced.
And what about the casual corridor conversations that we don't get if we're not physically traveling to campus?
So the risk of missing those is that we will not bump into people outside of our scheduled meetings. And usually these kind of random, so-called serendipitous interactions leads to creation and maintenance of what sociologists call the weak ties. Weak ties are relationships with people that we don't see very often, maybe we don't even plan to see, but their value is very high because they tend to be different from us, different from the kind of people that we spend most of our time with. They introduce us to new ideas, and also having these weak ties is important for a well-functioning society.
So does that tell us something about how we should design our work so that it's more and not less inclusive in this more online world?
It requires a bit more caution on our part so that we don't become trapped in just our network of the pre-existing contacts of people that we like to work with and missing networking with people who are different from us and may have different ideas from us.
Some great insights there from Petr and Stephanie. I don't know about you, but I always get something from having those small corridor conversations. And it's a reminder, perhaps, that a strong institutional culture is paradoxically built on so-called weak ties.